So welcome everyone for today's session, the Gita course, session 3. And I'm very glad to have sincere participants coming on time. So it's 6:34, so we'll start the session without any delay. So let us start today's session by chanting prayers. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, please repeat everyone. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhete girim yat kripataham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So yes, we are discussing a very, very important scripture, the life manual, the magical book, the Bhagavad Gita. And we dedicate this presentation to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder, Acharya of ISKCON. So Prabhupada is that personality who made it so simple for us to understand the concept of body and soul. Many, many people around the whole world, people feel this thing that we see is all in all. But there is something deep in our life. There's something deep within this body, and that is the spirit soul. And Prabhupada made it very, very much accessible for everyone to understand the mysteries of reincarnation, near-death experience. He made it very much accessible for everyone to understand the concepts which is given in Bhagavad Gita in a very easy language, or not easy language, I should say, the most spoken language, English. And that's how many, many educated people all around the world are understanding the concepts of Bhagavad Gita as it is, as spoken by Krishna. So let us start with today's session, a very important topic. The topic is why suffering, the root cause analysis. So that's what is the topic for today. So one thing which I have been seeing from last many years, being the course instructor, in the first session we'll have high attendance, and slowly the attendance will go down. Now, always, this is there in my mind, always this analysis, that people are interested to understand what is Bhagavad Gita, to understand the various spiritual subject matters. But you know what? Even when the person is willing to understand all this, join the class, but the mind will trick in various ways. Mind will say, "Arey Bapre, 1.5 hours, sitting there. My God, it's too much." Yes. And mind will give various reasons. Now watch a movie, go to restaurant, go here, go there. This is important, that is important. It has been my personal experience when I was new in Krishna consciousness, a decade back. So a determination should be there, a commitment should be there to understand spiritual subject matters, or else it's difficult. It's very difficult. Yes. Attendance will keep going down and down and down. So who is in loss? People are in loss. What else? And also I have a request. Your voice is not much audible. It's not clear. I think you have to bear with it for another 5 minutes because no, okay. Let me change from microphone to this. Okay, now is it audible? Is it clear? Is it clear? Microphone was better. Maybe for another 5 minutes, I'll keep in this mode, and then I'll change it to the microphone because the microphone is picking up the background noise also. Okay, so yeah, so I was saying that we need to have commitment. That's why it's very, very important to be there and to understand these different concepts. So let's get into today's subject matter. So today we're going to discuss various things, the various causes of suffering, analysis of these causes, the root cause. And we're going to end today's session with mantra meditation. I'm going to teach how to chant on beats, how to do mantra meditation on beats. And after that, we will have Q&A for all the ones who have questions. They can stay back. So session starts now and it goes up till 8 o'clock. And after that, I'll take some questions. Okay. The first question, what are the causes of suffering? So in physical sessions, I ask people and people tell. So online is difficult. So we'll move ahead. So I've categorized into 3 categories here: attachment, attitude of comparison, and committing wrong acts. So these are the 3 broad categories. And today we're going to see attachment, the first one. Now, what is the attachment? Let's try to understand. So remember this photo that I put here. Okay. Say I come to your place and I give you, say, 10 lakh rupees cash. And I say that, oh, please keep it safe. Oh, by the way, if possible, keep your videos on so that I can see you. And it's also a sign of commitment. So say I'm coming to your place. Yes, and I'm giving you 10 lakhs. And I say that, Atul, keep 10 lakhs with you. I can see Atul here. I give you 10 lakhs and keep it safe. I'm going to my native place. I'll be back. Yes. Now I go to Atul's place and then I'm asking him after coming back from native that, give me my money back, 10 lakhs. And he just goes to the place where he has kept. He'll go and get it and give it. Now the question is, will that person feel anything in the heart? Kartikeya gave me 10 lakhs and then he came and took it back. Will he feel any problem there? The answer is no. But now, say the person gets a lottery of 10 lakhs. Now that money is there in his house. One night, a thief enters, he steals it, and he goes away without anyone's notice. Now, next day morning when the person gets up and when he opens the safe to see it's not there. Now tell me, will the person feel the pain or not? Feel a lot of pain. See, in the first case and the second case, there is a difference. In the first case, the money was not his. He was not attached. But in the second case, he was attached. Maybe another example I'll give so that you can connect it better. Say you live on 3rd floor and you have a big window and you're just sitting in the evening and you're watching what's happening on the road and you see an accident in front of you and you're like, oh, now someone else's car is getting hit by a bike, and the person falls and things like that. So you feel a lot of thing for that person who is falling from the bike. Now you have a car and your driver is just getting that car on the road and he's going inside the parking lot. So he's on the road and a rash bike rider comes there and then he just scratches your car and he goes. Now, what will be your mood at that time? Maybe that accident which happened, more than that, there will be a heart attack. And if it's a Mercedes Benz, a BMW, a Lamborghini, you're gone. Maybe the person will die also. So the point is this, that in the first case, it was not yours. So you were not attached. You just made an expression to express sympathy. But now this particular thing was yours and you're completely attached to it. And little bit anything happens to that thing which you're attached to, there's so much of pain that we feel. That is the point that I'm trying to make here. But I have a question here. I have a question which I would like to display here. Okay, before that, same thing happened with Arjuna. Arjuna's first argument was this, that, see, I am attached to my family. How can I punish my own family members? And that's how Krishna starts. Krishna starts the Bhagavad Gita, and it speaks about two things: understanding what is temporary and acting on permanent platform. So like in the first and second session, we saw the background of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna gave 4 reasons. You all remember the 4 reasons by any chance? Anyone? You remember the acronym that I told? Maybe you can put in the chat box. Let me see. 4 reasons which Arjuna gave. Okay, REDS acronym. Okay. R stands for relative. Yes, relative. Next, E, enjoyment. So one is relative. You know, how can I kill my own relatives? And then without my relatives, how can I enjoy? And third, D, destruction of family tradition. Absolutely correct. And fourth one, S. Chalo, sinful reactions. Absolutely correct. So these are the 4 reasons that he gave. Now, as I already said, Krishna is going to address each one of it in the Bhagavad Gita. And in the second chapter, which is titled as Summary of Gita, because second chapter is the most important chapter in Bhagavad Gita, which actually clears a lot of problems people have. And a lot of concepts of entire Gita are covered in the second chapter. So in the first few, or in the first half of this entire chapter, Krishna is talking about temporary and permanent aspects of life. But now I have a very important question for all of you. I'm launching a poll here. Let me see if I can launch. Yes. So I'm launching a poll here. The question is attachment wrong? See, if attachment is not there, then there's a great problem, right? How will the person stay with family and he'll progress in life or whatever? So my question is attachment wrong, or there's something more to it? Yes, I launch a poll here. Please answer the question. Yes, go ahead. All the 70 plus participants here on Zoom. The ones who are on YouTube, you can maybe post in the comment section. Is attachment wrong? Okay, so I see around 20 people saying, no, it's not. 5 of them are saying, yes, it is. Not sure are 8. Yes, can we have more people answering? Okay, only 46 people have answered. Last 15 seconds. Can we have all 71 participants answering? Is attachment wrong? This is the question. Okay, I end the poll here. Thank you. So here is the result. No, it's not. Out of 55, 36 people are saying no, it's not. 10 of them are saying yes, it is. And 9 of them are a bit confused, not sure. Let's try to understand what it is. It's a very important concept. Many people mistake this particular concept. As soon as we tell spiritual life, somehow this comes. And as soon as person starts practicing spiritual life, Are Baba, ye to ghar chhod ke chala jayega. This is the concept, which people feel it is. But then it is not. Let's try to understand what it is. So this was the question, is attachment wrong? It is very clear that we cannot prosper in any domain if we are not attached. Only when we are attached to something, we'll be able to do it. And also, how can a human being live without attachment? See, attachment is not the problem. Attachment to temporary things is the cause of suffering. That is the problem. So please note it down if you're writing notes. Attachment to temporary things is the cause of suffering. I always give this example, the example of traveling in a bus or a train. So I was in Mumbai for good 20 plus years, right from my childhood. So we travel in the local trains. So for the seat, people would fight so much. So say we are also there, part of that local train, we're sitting. on the seat. After fighting, we've got the seat, we have sat. And after 20 minutes, our station comes, we get down. Now, say, the person after getting down is thinking, what would have happened to that seat? Who sat on the seat? Is that seat still clean? Or someone damaged the seat? What's happening? Isn't the life miserable for that person? So here, this is called as attachment to temporary things. It was temporary, you just sat for some time and then you're out. Now, where is the question of thinking about it? Similarly, all of us, we are attached to something very, very temporary, which even Arjuna was attached to. And that is called as Deha, or body. And we are something else in the body. That is the concept that we're entering into. Body and soul. So what we're going to do now is, we'll have 3 parts to our discussion. In the first section, we will see the scriptural references for the concept, we are spirit soul. Middle part, we will see logically that how we are spirit soul. And towards the end, we will have the 2 important scientific research, that is reincarnation and near-death experience. So scientifically also we'll try to understand that how we are not this body but spirit soul. So let's start. And also in between, there are a few small activities which I've put today. So now we'll have a small activity. So be alert. This is a very important shloka from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna starts the concept of body and soul from this particular shloka. So I would request everyone that please repeat after me. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapter dhirastatra namayati. So here basically what Krishna is telling, let's try to understand. See, Bhagavad Gita is a very practical book, and every verse, we can practically analyze if we have, we are there at that level. Dehinosmin yatha dehe. Dehinosmin yatha dehe. So there is a dehi and there is a deha. Dehi is the person who is inside the body, and deha is the body. Now let's forget about this line. We'll discuss about this later. Kaumaram yauvanam jara. So all of us, when we were young, our body was different. And then when we were in youth, school days, it was different. College days, it was different. Now, working time, it is different. After marriage, different. Old age, different. So the person is same, but the body is changing. So here Krishna says that the way the soul passes from one body to another, from youth to old age, from boyhood to youthhood to old age, kaumaram yauvanam jara, tatha dehantara praptir dhirastatra namayati. At the time of death, the person will change his body, go to another body. Now let's try to understand first 3. That is kaumaram yauvanam jara. So I have an activity here. There are few personalities. So I'm displaying it on the screen. Now, firstly name all these personalities, starting from top left to bottom right. All of us. Now let's start with the first photo. Begin pata. We will not spend much time here. Go on posting. Okay, Mother Teresa. Second, this person. A.R. Rahman. Third, Einstein. Albert Einstein. Fourth, Nelson Mandela. Yes. The middle photo. Nice. There's Roger Federer. Yes. And then this photo, the 6th one, Steve Jobs. Okay. The 7th photo here, Barack Obama. The middle one here, this personality. Anyone remembers? Yes. There's Oprah Winfrey. And anyone knows this personality at the end? Last photo with a yellow attire. Okay, Queen Elizabeth. Okay, now all of you remember the names. Okay. Now I'm going to display their childhood photos and you have to tell me who the person is. Let's have this activity. And this will actually help us to understand this verse of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm displaying one personality's childhood photos, and you have to tell me who the person is. Yes. Who is this person? From those 9 names only. Okay, Ravi says Einstein. Sargam is saying Mother Teresa. Shravya, Priya are saying Einstein. Raghumani is saying Queen. Abhishek and Sargam Einstein. Others? Okay, we will see. Remember your answers. Okay, what about these photos? The childhood photo of one person from those 9 personalities. Yes, the second row. Mother Teresa, Queen Elizabeth. I think they were the ones. Yes. Queen, Mother. Hey, Einstein is also there. Queen. Okay. Let's go to the third row now. Okay, third row. Who are these? Sorry, who is this person? Okay, someone says Himani is saying Steve Jobs. Rena is saying Steve. Roger Federer. Okay. Okay, so let me display who they are. The first one is Einstein. I think few of you said that. Second one is Queen Elizabeth. And third one is Roger Federer. I think some of you rightly guessed. Let's go to one more time. We'll do this activity. Yes, this row, the first row, which I've displayed. Okay, Nelson Mandela. People are saying Nelson Mandela. We'll see that. And then, yes, the second row. Teresa. Mother Teresa. Nelson. Mother Teresa. Okay. Let me go to the third row. This one. The third row. Okay. Obama. Okay, let me display their photos. The first row, Nelson Mandela. Second row is Mother Teresa. And third row is Barack Obama. Now see, this activity is very relevant. It might look kiddish, but then with a purpose, I put this activity here. Now, when we saw the photos, childhood photo, the boyhood and the youthhood photo, why it took time for us to understand who the person is, and then there were wrong guesses also. Now, some of us guessed it and then somehow it became true also. It's very clear in these photos that how actually the body has changed. In the childhood, the body is completely different. And then it has changed in the boyhood. Youthhood is different. Adulthood, it is different. And science also says, I'm sure all of us might have studied in our science subjects, that a small baby, a newborn baby, has got 300 bones in the body. And an adult has a body finally 206. And science also says that every 7 to 10 years, all the cells of the body change. The cells of the body die and new cells come up. Now, scientifically also it is proved that the body changes completely. The body is changing completely. But now the question here is, when the body is changing, how is it that the identity of the person remains the same? In the childhood, she was called as Mother Teresa. When she was young, she was called as Mother Teresa. When she was in her adulthood, she was called as Mother Teresa. When she was old, she was called as Mother Teresa. But then we see the face has changed, the body has changed. So the question here is, what is that is remaining constant? And the answer, I'm sure all of us know. The answer is the spirit soul. Spirit soul we know, but then we have to go deeper in our understanding now, because the Gita course is a very technical course that we have designed. So you remember the first line, it said, Dehi nosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. So we saw kaumaram yavanam jara. It's very convincing. But let's see now Dehi and Deha. Dehi means the possessor of the body, and Deha is body. Now, when it comes to our body and our identity, There's a deeper understanding to it. We are spirit soul, and we have got two bodies. One, subtle body, and second one is gross body. It's very, very interesting. This particular topic, if you understand it clearly, you'll be able to answer many questions related to the body. I mean, many other questions also, like ghost and this and that and whatever is there. So a soul, spirit soul, has two coverings. One is the subtle body and one is the gross body. So the subtle body and the gross, let me try explaining. Gross body means what we see externally. Okay. Subtle body is something which we don't see. Like, for example, mind. Mind we don't see, but everyone knows mind is there. So many people come and tell. They ask questions, how to control uncontrolled mind? I've got uncontrolled thoughts. Mind is troubling me. Mind is tricking me. Means everyone knows mind is there, but where is it? We cannot see. That's subtle. So like this, we are spirit soul, subtle body covering, gross body covering. Now, taking a tangent from the topic, in that shloka, it was there, Dehantara Praptir. So at the time of death, what happens? At the time of death, what happens? The verse says that from one body to another body, the soul is getting transmigrated. So how does it happen? Here it is. Today afternoon, I was sitting and making this PPT. This one. So I said, we have this gross body, which everyone can see. Subtle body, for example, mind. Mind is one of the elements in the subtle body. And we are spirit soul. Okay. So now at the time of death, what happens is the gross body is destroyed. And after the gross body is, when the gross body is destroyed, we get a new gross body. And now here you see soul is there, and along with that, subtle body is there. So soul with the subtle body goes to the new body. So this is what is the concept of soul transmigration. So I'll again go back to the concept. You all can see gross body, subtle body, soul. At the time of death, the gross body is destroyed. And this subtle body goes to the new body. And this is called a soul transmigration or rebirth. And all of us, we all go through this lifetime after lifetime. What is the proof, if you ask? Here is the proof. Let's try to understand the gross body and subtle body now in a deeper way. Please repeat. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kammano buddhireva cha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakriti rashtadha. So I'll explain what we're talking about. I hope the verse Dehi nosmin yathade is clear. That's a very important verse. 2nd chapter, 13th shloka. We understood Dehi and Deha. We are getting into this concept deeper now. Kaumaram yavanam jara. That also we saw through that activity. Tatha dehantara praptir. That is soul transmigration. That also we saw now. Now we are going into Dehi and Deha concept in a much deeper way. Now we are talking about Deha. So Krishna is saying, Bhumir, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. And then he says, Bhumir, Apo, Analo, Vayu, Kham, Manaha, Buddhi, Ahankar. Three things he's adding. Mana means mind, Buddhi means intelligence, and Ahankar means false ego. So these are the 8 elements. And these 8 elements make various things in this material world. Everyone knows this. Gross, everyone knows. Pancha Mahabhut, earth, water, fire, air, ether. And it makes every thing that we see around, gross substance. And when it comes to the animate things around, that has the subtle element also. Mind, intelligence, false ego. Now, it's like this. It's display. I put it in the chart form so that we can understand. So gross body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether, is like the outer blazer. And the subtle body, the mind, intelligence, false ego, is like the inner washcoat. Just to give a little glimpse of subtle body, because gross body though we understand, but to give a glimpse of subtle body, I'll just speak something, because we're going to anyway see this in a much deeper way in session number 6, which is titled as the mind control and the lifestyle. So there we're going to go deeper in the concept of mind, intelligence, and false ego. Just for now, so that we have some understanding of it, I'd like to speak. So mind always works on the principles of likes and dislikes. Okay? Just accept it now. Later we'll prove it in that session. Intelligence works on the principle of correct and incorrect. Now, simple example I'll give. A diabetic person, high sugar level, he goes to a marriage ceremony. He has a plate, and as usual in our Indian marriages, we have seen that take plate and huge number of dishes are there, and then people put everything and make a mountain, and then they carry the plate. Yes. Now this person, is taking very cautiously, is taking things on his plate, but then he likes gulab jamun a lot, and the last thing that is kept, the dessert, that is gulab jamun. Now he's holding the plate, succulent, spongy. Those are kept there, the gulab jamuns. Now he's taking the plate there, he's looking at it. The mind is saying, take it, you like it. Take it, you like it. And there's another voice of intelligence. Don't, it is not correct. You remember 2 weeks back you had gone to the doctor and he said, if you take any sweet, you're going to die. Don't do that, it's not correct. And the mind is like, no, you like it, take it. And finally, it depends who is strong, mind or intelligence. Based on that, the person will decide to take the gulab jamun or not take. I hope if you remember this analogy or example, you'll be able to connect with what is subtle body. So now we're going ahead. So hope you understood. Mind works on likes and dislikes. Intelligence works on the principle of correct and incorrect. And false ego is the ahankar which we have, that I am this body. So false ego makes us believe that I am this body. So that is the false ego. Okay. So as of now, for time being in this session, just have these three things in the mind. Going ahead to understand this concept of Dehi and Deha. Now let's get into the verses of Bhagavad Gita now. So Krishna said about the material elements, that is earth, water, fire, air, ether, and mind, intelligence, false ego. Now that is Deha. Now let's try to understand about Dehi, that is the soul. So this particular shloka, it talks about it. Please repeat. Aprayam mitastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhuta mahabaho ye yadam dharyate jagat. So if you want to refer it later, you can write down the verse numbers. So previous one was 7.4 and this is 7.5. That is 7th chapter, shloka number 4 and 5. And Dehi Nosmin Yathadehe verse was 2nd chapter, shloka number 13. So this verse says, so Krishna is telling Arjuna, oh Arjuna, I told you about my separated material energies, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. But now let me tell you that there is superior energy of mind on the spiritual platform, which exploits these material elements. So in this place, he's talking about the Dehi, that is spirits. So now this is the concept of Deha and Dehi. In soul transmigration, the animation that we saw, so we saw that a new body is given for a person to go from one body to another. At the time of death, a new body is given. So now this new body is determined by the person's previous karma. Because it's not a lucky draw, right? That the Lord is tossing the coin and he says head, and then he says, okay, you spirit soul, go to this body. No, go to a body. No, some people are very beautiful. Some people are, no, they might not be beautiful. Some people are very rich. Some people are not rich. So on what basis the birth is given to the living entity in a certain family or in a certain body? So that is based on karma. So that is the session which we'll be seeing next to next Sunday. So we'll see that. The philosophy of karma, there will be answering the question, why do bad things happen to good people? So entering again back to this topic about the spirit soul, about the gross body, subtle body, and spirit soul. Whatever I spoke till now is summarized in this particular slide. Please have a careful look at the slide which is displayed. There are 5 horses with different colors. Now these 5 horses represent the 5 senses in the body. And the entire chariot that you're able to see, it represents the gross body. Okay. So 5 senses, as we know, the eyes, ears, nose, and then we have tongue and touch, the skin. Now the bridle or the rope that you see, that rope is mind. And the person holding the rope is intelligence, buddhi. And the person who is sitting behind in a very fearful state, that is we, the spirit soul. I repeat, if you have not heard it, please hear it. So this entire chariot that we see with the horses is our body. And to be more specific, the 5 horses are the 5 senses through which we see, hear, taste, smell, and touch. And the bridle or the rope that is held in the hands, so that rope is the mind, and the person holding the rope is intelligence, and the person sitting behind in a fearful state is the spirit soul. I hope everyone has paid attention to this. Now hear carefully. So the chariot is the body, horses are the senses, the bridle is the mind, the person holding the bridle is intelligence, and the person sitting behind in the chariot is the spirit soul. Now please try to understand here that when the bridle is held tightly, all the horses will be under control. So when the bridle is tightly held, all the horses are under control. And who is holding the bridle? The person is holding, who is intelligence. Now say the bridle goes loose. The person is not holding it tightly. The bridle goes loose. All the horses will go hither and thither. But now in this entire thing, in this entire scenario, what is going to happen? The person who is the passenger, he is going to get affected. When the bridle is strongly held, when the horses are moving properly, he will have a good time. When the bridle is left loose, at that time, the horses will go hither and thither. The jerk will be felt by the passenger who is the spirit soul. So here comes the concept of mind control, which we'll be seeing in session number 6 or 7. So when the person holds the bridle, I mean, when the intelligence is strong, this is what it means. When the intelligence is strong. See, when I say intelligence, I'm not talking about IQ. IQ is different. I'm talking about the spiritual intelligence, which decides correct and incorrect aspects of life. So when the intelligence is strong and when the bridle is held tightly, when the mind is controlled by the intelligence, at that time, there's a smooth ride which the living entity has. The example of diabetes that I gave, the diabetic person, if his intelligence is strong, if he understands he shouldn't take that, he'll be safe. But then, if his intelligence is not strong, if he does not understand what is correct and what is incorrect, so that time the mind will be more stronger and the intelligence will not be able to control. So now the mind is going to control the entire body and the person is going to do something which will actually affect him. He has to face the repercussions. Now, how to make the intelligence strong, how to make the mind, or how to take over the mind, we'll see that in that particular session, but just to give a glimpse. So when we read Bhagavad Gita, when we read the Vedic scriptures, so when we understand this different philosophy about our own life, which is a fact, which is the truth. So when we understand it properly, you know what happens? The intelligence becomes strong because we are able to make the difference between what is right, what is wrong. Especially in the karma session, you will have a lot of insight into this, a lot of clarity, what is right, what is wrong, and other things. But then when we hear Bhagavad Gita or read Bhagavad Gita, this happens. When we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this happens. The intelligence becomes stronger. The determination to decide correct and incorrect, that becomes stronger. And currently for everyone in this world who are not spiritual practitioners, mind has taken over the entire body. And that's how we see every now and then the mind tricks the person in so many ways. So I'll not be the spoiler for the session number 6 or 7, which I want to see. So we'll have a nice time understanding how the mind and intelligence, they work in our day-to-day life. So we'll see that there. So this is the concept of Dehi and Deha, which I wanted to tell. That how the gross body and subtle body, they work together. And the effect of that is felt by the passenger who is spirit soul. I have another example, an activity also for all of us. Before that, there are a few verses which we'll recite. So this is regarding what does the spirit soul do with the body. Please repeat. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grannati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. It's a nice verse, very practical. It says, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani granati naroparani. So he's saying Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya. So like when our clothes become old, so we go and purchase a new one and we change it. We change to new clothes. Similarly, tatha, similarly, so the nara or a human being or the living entity, what happens to the living entity? So when the body becomes old, jirnani, so at that time, the person changes the body. The living entity changes the body. Like we change our clothes, like that, the spirit soul changes the body. So this body is like a vehicle, Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. Again, a very, very practical verse, which I'm displaying here. Look at this. Very, very practical verse. Please repeat. Ishvara sarva bhutanam Riddheshe Arjuna Tishtati Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Mayaya. So, by the way, I didn't speak about the pronunciation of these verses. So, you look at this Ishvara, how it is written. So, there is a line on the I. So, there's a stress that has to be given while chanting this. So, it becomes Ishvara. E, okay, E. And there is a line on S. There's a stroke on S. So, it becomes Sh. So, this becomes Ishvara. And now there's a dot below H. So whatever is there before H, so that we again pronounce. So this is like Ishvaraha. Ishvaraha. Then we have a line on U. So we have to stress on that particular alphabet. So Bhu, it becomes Bhu. U. A line on A. So it becomes A. So Bhuta Nam. So this is Re. There's a dot here below R. And there's a dot below D here in Yantra Rudhani. So it is not the, it becomes the, right? Yantra Rudhani. That's how we pronounce it. A dot below T, it becomes ta. So tishtha, tishtati. This is how we pronounce. So for you all, I'll chant this verse again. Ishvara sarva bhutanam riddheshe arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. So if we start pronouncing like this, the verses very clearly, we will see a lot of change in consciousness. And I would request all the parents, please learn and teach your kids. Let them get this samskara right from start. Okay, coming back to the topic. So here, Lord is telling, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam. Oh Arjuna, I am there in each and everyone's heart. Riddhesha Arjuna Tishtati. Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantra Rudhani Maya. I am the one who make the living entities wander from one place to another, and they are situated in a yantra. So he's saying the living entity is situated in a yantra. So what is the yantra? This body is the yantra. So now any yantra or any machine, when it doesn't work properly, so oiling is done, greasing is done. When the screw becomes loose, it is made tight. Same thing happens with this body also, no? When screws become loose anywhere, we tighten it in various ways. So this body is actually like a machine. And I've made this nice analogy. So I request all of you all that please answer my questions now. I will tell different parts of the car and you tell the equivalent parts in the human body. It's pretty simple, but then a profound concept will come up. Okay, headlights. Tell me which part of the body. Oh, okay, simple, eyes. We're talking about gross only. We'll not go to subtle body. I'm just talking about the gross body only. Okay, next, horn. Horn in the car. Okay, mouth. Okay, correct. Radiator. Radiator or the engine which is there. Yes. In general, heart, from where all the things are pumped. Okay, so what is fuel? We put fuel in the car. What is fuel for this one? Food, simple, food. Yes. Now, what about the driver? The driver. 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 Yes, the spirit soul. Now see, a very, very simple concept this is, which everyone can understand. So when it comes to this car, which we're discussing, so car cannot move without a driver, unless and until it's a car in a movie. And obviously nowadays we have various automated ones. I'm talking about a normal one, which we can understand. Similarly, a body cannot move without the spirit soul. That's what is the concept that I'm getting to. Moving ahead and summarizing the entire thing that we have learned till now, the body is destructible. The body is just changed, like we change clothes, and it's just like a vehicle. So this is what we have seen till now. And the person might say, oh, anyways, we're spirit soul, I'm not the body. No, so why to take care of this body? Let's not go so much spiritual and transcendental that we don't take care of this body, because this body actually helps us to do various activities in this material world. So we have to take care of this body. Without this body, it will be difficult to do various activities. And there are the concept of spirit soul, which is mentioned here. So we'll just go through the meaning instead of chanting. Time is less. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, nor burnt by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. This individual soul is unbreakable and insoluble and can never be burnt nor dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. Summarizing the concepts of soul here, it is indestructible. Soul is permanent. Soul will never die. It does not change like the body. The soul will remain the same. And it is just placed in the body just like the driver sitting in the vehicle. So hope this is very clear. So this was the first section that we saw from the Shastra. Now let's get into logic. So let's talk about the common sense. I've never done this online, but now I would like to do this time. Can I have your videos on? At least few people. Jaldi, time nahi hai. Okay. So now I'm going to tell different parts of the body, maybe just face, because face is visible. So point to your different parts. Okay. I'll also do that for all of y'all. Right hand. Yes. Left. Point your right ear. Point your left eye. Point your head. Now, an important question. Point to your body. Like this. Okay, now my question is, point to yourself. How's that? Point to yourself. Okay, with two hands. Reena is doing with two hands. And I remember in physical sessions when I say point to your body, people do like this. Point to yourself like this. Now see, this particular activity is so kiddish, but then a profound message is here. Now when I said my right hand, my left hand, my right eye, my left ear or whatever, my body, I said. So when I say I, so we are again pointing to the body, which is not correct, right? So it's a very important thing to note. So when I say this is my mobile phone, now we're just doing common sense, okay? English, my mobile phone. So when I say my mobile phone, so me and mobile phone are two different entities, isn't it? It's my mobile phone. Mobile phone belongs to me. Similarly, when I say my body, so it goes on to say that this body belongs to me. So this body is not me. This body belongs to me, right? So that's what is common sense in English. Now something logical which we come across in day-to-day life. Now say when the person dies, when the person dies, how do we communicate the death of a person? And how do we call a person after he's dead? Now say you want to inquire about the person. No, a person is dead, and now you want to inquire about what happened. So now you're calling your friend, and then you're asking your friend that. So now, say the person's name was Michael. So you ask your friend that. So where is Michael kept? Now, where is Michael kept? You're asking your phone. Is the right way to ask? What are we supposed to ask? Where is Michael kept? This is what I'm asking. What is the correct way? I'm talking about now the dead person. Where is Michael kept? Please correct me. Oh, where is Michael's body kept? Okay, where is Michael's body kept? Okay, now I have another question. Hey, tell me, when will Michael be cremated? Hey, tell me, when will Michael be cremated? Is that okay? When will Michael be cremated? When will the body be cremated? That's how it is. And in our day-to-day language, be it English, Kannada, Telugu, Marathi, Hindi, whatever it is, this one line is used when the person dies. The person passed away. वो चले गए, वो चल बसे. अरे नहीं, पूरे लाइफ में जिसको देखा है आपने, full life whom you have seen, the person lying in front of you. Who has passed away? Who has passed away? In our day-to-day life, we are telling this. And the answer is the soul has passed away. Simple. There is no change. If you see properly, there is no change in the person at all. The body is completely there. Like nowadays, we have this organ donation. Yes. So people do organ donation. So there is like eyes and so people donate eyes, kidney, and heart or whatever. Now that basically means what? After the person is dead, I mean, when the soul leaves the body which is there, so different parts of the body are removed because those are working. I mean, those are in a working condition. So can I say that the body is in the working condition? The body is in the working condition. That's how the organ donation happens. Or else, how will the organs be taken after death if they are not in working condition? So the body is in the working condition. But then, why the body is not animate now? Why it has become inanimate? It's a very simple funda which I'm talking about using logic. So what is happening now? The body is working. That's how the organ donation happens. But then now something is missing in the body. The consciousness is not there. And you know what? Oh, very nice. No, Priya is also saying the same thing. Consciousness is not there. So consciousness is a symptom of soul. So when the spirit soul is there in the body, the entire body is live because it's fully conscious. But then just as soon as the spirit soul leaves, the body is still working, but the body is not moving. It's almost like the car is in working condition, but now there is no driver. So the car is not moving. Very simple. So in this way, logically, we understand how we are not the body, we are spirit soul. Shastrically, we understood. Logically, we understood. The final part of today's session, scientifically, let's try to understand. There are a lot of research papers. I would request, if you're a person who's very inquisitive, who wants to get a strong faith in the philosophy of body and soul, the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, you can do some research by yourself by reading some papers on reincarnation, research papers on reincarnation, and research paper on near-death experience. Very, very amazing it is. These concepts are very amazing. And it's not a very marvelous thing. When I'll describe, you'll understand how it is. Okay, let's get into the topic now. We're getting into the mystery of reincarnation. And by the way, for your information, reincarnation is not a religious sentiment, it is scientific. Let's start with this person. So this person is Ian Stevenson, and he left this world in 2007. And this person has studied more than 3,000 reincarnation cases. And he was a professor of psychiatry in University of Virginia. Now, for the information of everyone, how this person would be doing the study of reincarnation cases. It's pretty interesting. I would request everyone to listen. Or else, if we are in ignorance and don't have knowledge about this, we'll always keep telling, this is all myth and this is all this false and things like that. Hear it carefully, it's science. So, Ian Stevenson has his team. He had his team, and now obviously, his subordinates are doing that. So what they would do is, when the child would start speaking something weird, that you're not my mother, you're not my father, I belong to that place, this place. So Ian Stevenson and the team, they would come for investigation and they'll ask various questions because they have done research on 3,000 people. I mean, they've studied 3,000 reincarnation cases. So it was very easy for them. So as soon as they'll hear, some things like this, they will start asking more questions, and without telling the person, they will take them to that particular place, whichever place they're talking about, and they'll go and do more research, ask more questions there, to the other party, and try to verify if it is really a reincarnation or not. Today, I have one reincarnation case. I think at least some 50, 60 times I've spoken the story of this personality. His name is Professor Deep Kapadia. He's available on Facebook. If you all want, you can ping him. And if he's free, maybe he'll reply. So there's a newspaper cutout from a newspaper in 1984. And he was a student from arts, student of arts from Ruparel College, Mumbai. So the ones who are in Mumbai, they'll know Ruparel College, very famous. So now let me tell you something about this person today. A reincarnation case. And he became very, very successful. And at the same time, I'm sure a lot of ISKCON devotees might have troubled him after attending Gita course and other sessions, and after reading Bhagavad Gita. So Deep Kapadia, he comes from a family which speaks Hindi. But then at the age of 3.5 approximately, when he was staying in Borivali, Mumbai, he started speaking Marwadi language. Now, this was a very astonishing thing for the parents, because they don't speak Marwadi language, and this person started speaking Marwadi language. Because small child means you can just imagine. And they started analyzing, is it because some TV channel was open and this person has by-hearted something and he's saying something? But then again and again, he was telling that he wants to go to Udaipur. Now, the parents took him to various doctors and things like that, and it was becoming difficult. But there was an assistant of Ian Stevenson, and she was available there in Mumbai, if I'm not wrong. And then Deep Kapadia was taken to them. And she could understand on a superficially that maybe this might be a reincarnation case. And then the entire team of Dr. Evans Stevenson, they all came, and then this particular thing was done. Now, what all things happened? Let's try to understand. They came and they started asking various questions. And they were again and again hearing Udaipur. He wanted to go to Udaipur. So one day, without telling Deep, the entire team of doctors and the parents of Deep, they all boarded the train for Udaipur. They didn't tell the small boy. And they were playing with him and they were talking, and then this boy was looking outside again and again at the stations and things like that. And one station before Udaipur, Deep, the small boy, he tells the entire team, next station is Udaipur, let's get down. The entire team was shocked. And then after this, when the station came, they got down. And I was fortunate, I was hearing he himself speaking about his entire story. So I'm just repeating whatever I heard directly from Deep. They crossed the bridge, and on the other side, he was calling out to a Tangawala. I was saying, hey, Raju. He was calling out with the name. And the person turned also there. Deep was leading, the small boy is leading the entire team of the doctors, the research people, and then the parents were there. Now you can imagine the parents, they will be in so much of anxiety. What's wrong with my son? So this small boy, he goes to a house in Udaipur. He knocks the door, and a 32-old elderly person, he opens the door. And then the small boy, he goes and then he embraces him. Obviously, he's small boy, so he goes and catches his legs. And he says, my son, how are you? After a long time, I'm seeing you. Now, this was a twist in the story. The entire team is wondering what's happening. The parents are wondering what's happening. And the person who opened the door is wondering what's happening. And the person, he became very skeptical now. He started thinking that something is wrong here. And maybe something related to my father. And these people want my inherited property, which has come from my father. So I have to be very careful. And then that small boy started telling that you are my son and I am your father. And straight away, the son, he started asking questions. He said that the rifle where my father keeps, only he knows and I know. If you're really that person, tell me where it is. And I was hearing Deep. He took the entire team to the first floor of their house. And then he said that remove this photo, the photo frame, and there was a safe. And they removed that, and inside was the rifle. And the entire team was shocked. Few more questions the 32-year guy, he asked, and it was answered by this small boy. And the small boy, Deep, he took the entire team to the Udaipur Museum. And he started telling that I am Pannalal Agarwal. So for everyone's information, Deep in his previous life was Pannalal Agarwal, a security officer in that particular museum. And according to Deep, so he was poisoned by some of the envious people in his previous life, and he remembers all that. So now when he started speaking that he's Pannalal Agarwal and all that, people started asking that what is the proof? And he said there are few things in this museum only few people know, and I am one of them. And then he started telling that remove this photo, and there was a door behind, and there were so many antique stuff that was kept inside. And the small boy, who hardly knows anything about the technology, he said that there are 3 kerosene fans inside this room, get those. And he literally started the kerosene fan in front of everyone. So he was one of them who knew how to start it. And like that, he told various secrets of that place. Now this is very interesting to understand about this person. Udaipur, this person died. Borivali, now he is there. He took birth in Mumbai. Now see, in this entire reincarnation case that we are seeing, so the body was burnt. Pannalal Agarwal's body was burnt. And now the memory of Pannalal Agarwal's life is there with the person called Deep Kapadia in Mumbai. The body is different. The place is different. Parents are different. The setup is different. But now something is common here. Just try to rewind and go back to the animation that I showed about the soul transmigration. So what has happened now? The spirit soul has got transferred from one body to another, because there should be something common, or else how is it possible that the person is able to remember? And like this, there are like n number of reincarnation cases which are available. So the mystery of reincarnation is very nice to explore. But how the gross body is destroyed, a new gross body is there, but the person remains the same with the same memories. What is that? And many times people say that we don't remember our past lives. But tell me, all of us, we all have phobia right from childhood. Where is the phobia coming from? Right in the childhood, as soon as someone sees the water, the baby sees very, very, very fearful. A few of my students are there. They're fearful of water. They're fearful of height. So I was asking them, did any incident happen in the childhood? He said, no, right from childhood I'm fearful. And then right from childhood you will see small kids, they have their likes and dislikes. When it comes to dishes itself, no, I don't like this, I don't like that. Where is it coming from? Childhood, he has not seen the world, he has not experienced various things, and directly he's saying, I don't want this, I don't want that. So it's a very, very simple thing to understand. Where is all these things coming from? So when we analyze deeper, we'll understand there is a connection to the past. Somewhere in the past, the deep secrets are hidden in our own lives. Some of us, some people are able to remember a lot of things about past life, and some people have some glimpses of past life. Even in the dreams, people get some dreams where they're there in some place which they have never gone to. It used to happen with me a lot of time. Some temple was coming in the dream again and again and again. I couldn't get which temple that was. So something we'll always get certain dreams, and then we are there on the mountain cliff. We are there somewhere, some place, and it's all familiar. But when we get up, we don't know which place that is. So all these different things that happen in our day-to-day life actually talks about our past life, our likes and dislikes, our phobias, our dreams, and our natures, which all of us have. The talents that people have, right? The small kids, they have directly harmonium lete hi bajane lag jate very nicely in no time. Then I have seen here small kids who come to ISKCON Whitefield here, the devotee kids, the born to devotee parents, small kids, and they are so good at playing kartals and mridangas and harmoniums, and some kids are like very good at singing. So my question is, where is all these talents coming from? Where are these skills coming from? Right from childhood. So in this way, when we analyze this world scientifically, automatically we understand the connection that is there from the past life. And here in this particular reincarnation case, which I spoke elaborately, it's very clear the gross body is destroyed. He was poisoned. Obviously, a lot of questions were there to Deep. The audience were asking that you didn't file a complaint, what happened, and things like that. So he was saying, I was a small child, who will believe me at that time? And also, who believes in the previous life and all that? So the court will not entertain all that. So anyways, so that's a different topic. So in this entire scene, it's very clear the gross body got destroyed, but here there's a new gross body. But there is something common between the two, and we understand from Bhagavad Gita. De tatha dehantara praptir. Second chapter, sloka number 13, which we chanted initially. So the soul with the subtle body has transferred to a new body. Going to the next scientific research case. Please keep your questions. I'll be happy to answer towards the end of today's session. The next one is the near-death experience. So I'll not go deep into this topic, near-death experience. I'll just play a video. So I'll just tell you what is near-death experience, and I'll play a video where a lady who went through near-death experience, she's speaking. So in near-death experience, what happens is, normally when the person is given high dose of anesthesia, so clinically they are termed as dead, because there are no clinical symptoms in the body which can say that he's alive. So that happens when high dose of anesthesia are given, especially when heart surgery and other things happen during that time, when heavy surgeries basically. So now at this point, there are many people who have encountered this near-death experience, where the surgery is going on and they're able to see the surgery. They're able to see the surgery. They're able to go around and see various things. And again, they come back to this body and then they're awake. So this is that near-death experience, and a doctor called Dr. Michael Sabon, he did a good research in this, who is a cardiologist and professor of cardiology at this particular university, Emory. And he has done 200 plus near-death experience cases. He has written a lot of papers and things like that. So I'll play this video. You all can hear this video.
In Germany, Christina's doctors are also losing their battle. Her heart will not restart. Minutes before her brain too shuts down.
Es wurden Defibrillationsschocks.
We were trying to jumpstart her heart with a defibrillator.
Zum Schlagen zu bringen. Gleichzeitig
we gave her several drugs.
Seite mehrere Medikamente. The
patient had lost too much blood. Her organs weren't getting enough. We really didn't think we could save her.
Because Christina's heart has stopped pumping, many would consider her dead. Yet something seems to be happening with her mind.
Das nächste, was ich wieder weiß, ist, ja, dass ich wohl unter der Decke...
Next thing I know, I was hovering underneath the ceiling of the room. I could see down on myself laying on the operating table. And I saw the surgeons and heard them talking to each other. The scenario was pretty hectic. I realized that this was about life or death.
To help understand near-death experiences, some researchers focus on the content of these episodes.
A common element that occurs early in near-death experiences is what's called an out-of-body experience. At that time, the person seems to be able to see and hear things going on, but up from the vantage point above their body.
Okay, so I hope everyone saw the video. So basically, the ones who couldn't understand, So Christina, who underwent a severe and a very critical heart surgery, so she was saying that I was able to see what was happening, and all those doctors who are researchers in this particular field, so they have seen many such cases where during such operations, people have reported after the operation that what was happening during the operation, that how doctors were talking and which all instruments they were using. This happened in ISKCON also. One of our sannyasis, very senior devotee, so he underwent an operation and he came back to consciousness. And when he got up, very senior, he got up and then he slapped the surgeon. He said, "Don't you understand? During surgery, you're talking about baseball. What's wrong with you people?" So this we heard from that particular sannyasi who was speaking. So anyway, see all these different things that we saw in the science research. This makes it very clear that we are not this body and we are spirit soul. So it's a very important thing that to start spiritual life, at least we should know that we are spiritual entities. We are not this matter. Till the point we are attached to this body, you know what? Till we are not in knowledge that I am not this body, I am spirit soul, life will not be that great. It will not be that simple. It will be very, very miserable. Because all the problems that happen in life is attached to this body. All the problems. But a person who understands and see, now it's theory, by the way. All of us have just understood theoretically we are not the body of spirit soul. It's not the realization. Realization is different. So the great souls, or not just great souls, even spiritual practitioners, when they practice very nicely, especially mantra meditation and other the spiritual practices which we talk about. So what happens is the person's consciousness raises and he's there on the spiritual platform now where he's able to understand his spirit soul and not this body. And that's how we see those spiritually realized people, even when there is so many things happening around connected to the body, they don't get affected. But when it comes to us in our day-to-day life, if someone tells, "Hey, you're so fat," this thing itself, "You're so fat, you're so black," these different things, when it is said, "You're so ugly," and things like that, people take it to the heart and they go crazy. But guess what? It is related to the body, and we are not this body, we're spirit soul. So just by understanding, I just gave some very trivial example. You can relate yourself and self-introspect and try to connect to different things that happen in your life, and you will see that all that problem that is there in our life is because of our strong belief that I am this body. The day, by our spiritual practice, when we go to higher consciousness level and realize that I'm spirit soul and not this body, life will be very simple. Life will be cool and satisfying. The last practical tip of the day, which I would like to give for today, is this. We saw this particular slide before. And in the first session, we had seen 4 needs of human beings: physical need, psychological need, emotional need, and spiritual need. So the physical need is connected to the gross body. Psychological need and emotional need, they're connected to the subtle body. So all of us, we all are working for the gross body. So we are doing various things so that the gross body is fed nicely. We all of us are working very nicely to satisfy the subtle body also. So for the gross body, we are earning, we are feeding, we are taking care, doing physical exercise and all that. For subtle body, we are trying to achieve something in life. And we try to get some love, to love people, to get love. All that is on the subtle platform, on the mind platform. So that psychological and emotional needs are taken care. We are working towards it. We are feeding both gross body, subtle body. But many people, now at least in this century, the so-called advanced century, we are not feeding the spirit soul. Spiritual needs, when they are not fulfilled, the person will never be satisfied. Because we are spirit soul, and spirit soul is not fed, then obviously will not be satisfied in life. It's almost like a lady taking care of the bird's cage and the bird is starving. She's polishing the cage, she's painting the cage and all that, and the bird is starving inside, no feeding the bird. Same thing is happening with all of us. Externally, ekdam as a makeup, hairstyle, and this and that, wearing clothes, this sabun, this shampoo, that shampoo, this exercise, that exercise, this I will achieve, that I will achieve. But at the end of the day, why a person is not satisfied? A very, very simple question. And the answer is very simple. Who will feed the soul? Feeding the gross body is okay, feeding the subtle body is okay, but who will feed the soul? The bird in the cage, if not fed, will die. And we are like that bird in the cage, spirit, soul in this gross body. So my final conclusion of today's topic is this, that don't starve the spirit soul. Our spiritual practices, our spiritual activities will feed the spirit soul. And what are those spiritual activities? The mantra meditation, reading Bhagavad Gita, because it's a life manual, it's a book which will help us to understand and realize various things about our own life. And to continue spiritual practices, association of spiritualists is very, very important. And the last statement for today is this. If you want to make a note, please make a note. We are not human beings with spiritual experience. I repeat, we are not human beings with spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings with human experience. We are not human beings with spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings with human experience. So thank you very much for joining today. And I hope this session helped you in various ways. So before I take questions, I would like to talk about the next session, and we'll do mantra meditation for today. Please keep your questions ready. Don't post. I might miss. So next session is attitude of comparison. And also we're going to see, sometimes I don't want to do something, but then I go and I just do it. And after that, I feel guilty. Why does that happen? And attitude of comparison. Now, how to get rid of this disease? Because this is the problem for various sufferings that we have in life. We're not able to be happy with what we have. We see others doing something good and then we go crazy. So next session is going to be a very, very practical session. Next session, you will actually see, surely you'll get goosebumps to see that how practical Bhagavad Gita is. I'm going to convert the verses into flowchart, and you'll see, that how this entire thing is so wonderfully spoken in Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna to Arjuna. Through Arjuna, Krishna is speaking to all of us. Yes. So I request all of you that please make sure that you practice every single day. Don't starve the spirit soul, that is yourself. Satisfaction will be a talk or a dream only if you are not feeding the spirit soul. And doing mantra meditation is a very, very, very important thing. So today I'm going to teach you how to chant on beats. So these are the beats. These are 108 in number. And this is the head bead. This is not counted. This is the 109th bead. These are 108 beats. Okay. So we hold the beads like this. We don't touch the index finger, because according to Shastra, this index finger is considered to be contaminated one, because it's used to clean various places of the body, and also on a subtle platform to point at different people and find faults. So this finger is considered contaminated. So we hold the beads like this. And we move the beads in such a way the head bead moves towards us. This is how you move the beads. And then when you complete the entire thing, yes, so don't use two hands, just one hand is enough. So when you complete, so you come to the last bead, 108th bead. Okay. So this is how we chant on the beads. So on every bead, we will be chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Like, before starting chanting, we'll chant the Panchtattva mantra first. Then after we start, so from the first bead, we say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Move to the next bead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Move to the next bead. So like this, we chant on the beads. The significance of chanting on these beads are, these beads are very sacred, because they have a particular purpose and they're not contaminated with some contaminating activities. And these beads are very sacred because they're used for chanting mantras. So when we touch these beads, one is our sensation of touch is engaged. And if you remember in the last session, the first session, I told when we engage two or more senses in doing in a particular activity, our mind becomes focused. So when the sense of touch is engaged, and when we are counting, the mind becomes focused along with our chanting and hearing. Now, when sometimes people ask, why mantra meditation? We can just sit and do a normal meditation. What is the problem? Yeah, we can do. We can sit and then we can focus on our breath and all that. Today afternoon, only one person had come to talk to me, so he was asking this. So what happens is, when we sit and do some meditation, like he's hearing some music or just sitting in a relaxed pose, for that particular instance, you might find some relaxation, mind might get focused for some time. But please understand why the mind is distracted. Mind is distracted because there is contamination in the mind. Whatever activities we have done, all that impression is there on the mind. Now let's be more technical. All the impressions are there on the subtle body, and those are retained. The memory is retained. So when we sit just like this, you know what happens? The mind takes us in the past. Kyun aise hua, aisa nahi karna chahiye tha, what happened, why, this person did this, that person did that. Or the other thing the mind does is planning for future. Tomorrow I'll do this. After this person stops speaking, I'll go and have my dinner. So planning happens. So either we live in the future or in the past, and we means the mind takes us in future or in the past. So this is because of a lot of contamination that is there in the mind. So no meditation helps to remove the contamination. So if the contamination is not removed, how is it possible that the mind will become focused? So this Mahamantra, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it acts as a cleansing agent which cleanses the mind. And I can tell this confidently from my own experience of practice from last more than a decade now. Really, whatever I was struggling with, in the initial days, when I used to chant, so many thoughts would come here and there. But with time, by Lord's mercy, it has reduced to a very, very great extent. And so many of my students have conveyed the same thing to me. So early morning when we chant, it helps us to remain focused the entire day. So I request all of you that please make sure that you have these beats, and maybe in next few sessions, if you have it, you will be able to chant on beats. Yes. And this is a bead bag in which you can keep your beats so that it doesn't touch the ground or it doesn't touch your limbs of the body. And there is a hole that is given. From this hole, you can remove the index finger, so it will not touch the beats. So no one will know what you're doing. So you can go on chanting in the beats and bead bag. So you all can order it for yourself. I think it's available on Flipkart, Amazon, all those sites. You can also go to our website. It is available, gogita.in. And I'll request the volunteers to send out a message and a link. So if you want, you can order it. And the volunteers might, they will pack and send it to you. Okay. So for as of now, we don't have bees. Let's sit in a relaxed position. Please close your eyes. Please keep your videos on and don't exit the meeting. You'll miss the show. If possible, please keep your videos on and please sit in a relaxed position. Everyone, please keep your eyes closed. And today we have understood that we are not this body, but we are spirit soul. We are not the mind, nor we are this gross body. But still, when we are attached to this mind and gross body, we have got a lot of problems and sufferings in this life. But then, to realize that we are spirit soul, we have to chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, mantra meditation. And we have to literally beg and pray to the Lord that please help me to progress on the path of this wonderful yoga system that is the Bhakti Yoga. And by your mercy, O Lord, I'll be able to advance in my consciousness and realize that I'm spirit soul, your servant. Please help me. So in a begging mode, I would request everyone that let us start chanting. For next 10 minutes, I request you that please don't allow your mind to go here and there. Don't force too much, but try your best. Even if it goes 100 times out, please get it 101 times back on the mantra. It's just a matter of 10 minutes, and you'll see how the mind tricks. Try your best. 10 minutes, it's only you and the mantra and nothing else. Please repeat after me. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All of us together with complete focus, let us chant 3 times the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. For next 10 minutes, it's only you and the Hare Krishna mantra and nothing else. Let's sync with the audio. And there are 100 people there in today's session, the YouTube plus Zoom. It's very, very powerful to chant together. For next 10 minutes, 100 people are chanting together. So let's be very conscious about this. And with focus, let us chant. Let's go in sync with the audio. Here we go.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Hare Hare, Hare
Keep your eyes closed, and all of us together chant 3 times the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One more time, everyone. But this time I request everyone that focus on each and every word of the mantra. Don't allow the mind to go here and there. And a bit louder. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Chant the same mantra in your mind without moving your lips. 3 times. Please offer a silent prayer to the Lord, requesting Him, begging Him for His mercy and blessings, so that we continue on this path of bhakti and attain that perfection by raising our consciousness to the spiritual platform. Without realizing we are not this body, we are spirit, soul, it's going to be very difficult. But surely, by the mercy of the Lord, this is possible. And also we pray for all our near and dear ones, that they remain healthy, and both healthy at all the 3 platforms, gross, subtle, and spiritual. And we also pray for all those people all around the world who are suffering because of the pandemic, and all those people have lost their near and dear ones because of this pandemic. Please open your eyes gently. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was nice to see all of you, the ones, at least the ones who had switched on their video very sincerely. You all were doing. It gives me a lot of inspiration, to continue practicing myself. I hope these sessions are helping you in some or the other way. I'm trying my best to present it, online. And by the way, I want to take a poll. So I want to ask you all that how many of you would be able to attend physical session if we start physical session? Online will be there, but online, we are not able to give the full experience of our course. So physically, we have our center in PK Sports, which comes in Boganli Road near Belandur. Yes. So I want to ask how many of you can come, because now there's a fear of COVID and so many things are happening. But since I already got COVID, so I'm free now. So the ones who can join, I want to know. I'm launching a poll here, so I request you all to. Just a minute. I'm not able to launch the poll. Okay, anyways. So you all can raise your hands. We have an option to raise hand. Please raise your hands here. I hope all of us know how to raise hands. 6 people are saying yes, 8, 10. 11. And if you don't know how to raise hands, maybe you can put it in the chat box, no problem. The ones who want to come physically. It's near Belandur. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. Okay. Okay. So 18 people are there. So what I'm planning is 20th of this month, we will open our center, because this time the pandemic is not that great. I mean, it's not that fatal. So people are getting, it's almost like a flu now. So, but then I don't want to delay having a physical session, because in physical session, we sit together and do mantra meditation on beats. And then we have live aarti that we do. And we sit and have dinner together. That's a different experience altogether. So from 20th of this month, if the entire organizing team, we are planning, if everything goes well, we will start on 20th of this month. Okay. So we'll keep you all informed, and our wallet. And also I request, please get connected to your mentors, the group admins. See, they will help you in various ways, especially when you have some doubts or whatever. They'll help you. They've sent me doubts. I've pinned that in the WhatsApp. I'm not able to answer. So please forgive me. I'll be doing that this week. So please send your doubts to them. And also any life-related matters which you're not able to share to anyone, please share with them. And get some spiritual solutions for the same. So that will help you. Yes. And you can meet your mentors when you come for the physical session. Okay, please go ahead and bombard your questions. Let's start. We have 15 minutes. We'll start. Please post it now. Please copy paste if you already posted. I am starting from 8:15. And first question is Priya Ganesh, 8:15. If someone scolds you, which gets affected? Soul, subtle body, or gross body? I feel subtle body, but we carry the subtle body to next life. Oh, that's a nice question. Okay, see what happens now when someone scolds us. So actually, if you see, what are they scolding? They're scolding the gross body. You did this, because with this body only we're doing various things. But then the problem is, because of the element of subtle body, the false ego, we have strong belief that we are this gross body. So we take it to our mind that this person told that. So all that feeling that we have, all that bad feeling that we get when we get some scolding or something bad happens, that happens on the mind platform. And when the impression is very strong, when that throughout the life the person is beaten and black and blue and insulted, and when the impression is very strong, when that is carried to the next life, you will see such people are not having confidence to speak, and they're very, very fearful. And I found so many people like that, very, very fearful in life for anything. If a person raises the voice a bit, also they're very, very fearful right from childhood. So yes, it is carried to the subtle, to the next body. Hope this answers your question. If the soul transmigrates from one to another, how does population increase? New souls don't get created. This is I think today third time a devotee is asking this question. This question will be answered in a much better way. I would request you to wait. So next session is attitude of comparison, and session after that is the session on karma. So if you understand the philosophy of karma, this question will be easily answered. So I would request wait till that point and ask this question again on that day if it is not answered. How many sessions would be there in the course? So there are 10 sessions, and today was the third one. So 7 more are there in the session. In the state of sleep, what happens to the soul? See, in the state of sleep, now we have to understand the soul is active because the subtle body is active. The subtle body takes us in different ways to different bodies and different situations. That is called as dream. So we are actually active. The day when we don't get dream, you will see that we have a very deep sleep and it's a refreshing sleep. But when we have multiple dreams, you'll get up as if exhausting it will be. Exhausting, like so much of work is done. At least people who have this experience that tomorrow is exam, and at night in the dream also people are writing exam, or you have interview tomorrow and dream also giving interview. So much, I'm sure all of us have these dreams in our day-to-day life. Something like, for example, we're supposed to go for a picnic tomorrow, and somehow there's so much of hustle and bustle in the dream. I'm packing the bag and then the bus is missed. So all that happens. So the soul is active because the subtle body is also active. Do animals also have gross body, subtle body, spirit, soul? Yes. Yes. Please wait till the session of karma. We'll get to know this very clearly. But they do have all the three. Soul is obviously there. Without that, how the body will move? Gross body, we are able to see. Subtle body is also present. Does it matter what the beads are made of? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell. Now, since we're beginners, so please chant on neem beads. For tulsi beads, some more purity is needed. So there is, after a certain number of years, we can take. In my life, for 6 years, I chanted on neem beads. And then after that, I was given tulsi beads to chant. So I request you all start with neem beads, not tulsi beads. Thank you for this question. I completely forgot about it. What is the time taken for reincarnation? It's like immediate. Immediate from one body to another. The person dies and takes birth. So like that it is. Obviously, there is a description that is there, that how the spirit soul is carried to a place for judgment, and from there it is given. But then it is almost immediate, we can say, to a different body. The soul has effect on the body, subtle and gross. We know vice versa is true. See, now the thing is, soul, that is we are not in a position to affect the subtle body. That is the problem. Because from many lifetimes we are there, in the gross body and subtle body. So now we are completely believing that I am this body. So if you properly analyze, then actually there is not much independence to the soul. But with time, when you practice bhakti, then the soul comes into picture. The desires will change, and many things happen. Many things happen on that platform. So satsang is very important. When we keep hearing more and more about spiritual subject matters, there's a lot of cleansing that happens in the mind at the subtle platform. And slowly and steadily, our original constitutional nature, it manifests with time. So as of now, the answer is no. But the soul keeps the subtle body and gross body conscious. And without soul, it's not possible. What is the role of soul? Senses enjoy, mind intelligence control. Since soul is not the actor, why does it suffer for wrong things of mind and body? Why has Paramatma sent the Atmas away from him, such helpless state? Oh, this question I would be answering in a session called The Three Modes of Material Nature, or Who is Pulling My Strings? So in that session, we're going to discuss this in a great detail. This is a topic which has to be discussed for at least 1.5 hours, because it's a very deep topic. And this particular topic will help us to understand that what is our role in our day-to-day life. So Ravi, I would request you that please wait for that session, because I don't have 1.5 hours now to answer your question. So I would request you to please wait, and in detail this question will be answered. But your question is very nice. I'm very happy your thought process is going in that direction. People might get birth in different continents too, right? Always hearing people saying that about rebirth in same place. No. We have heard that how people from foreign countries have taken birth in India. Indians have taken birth in foreign countries, from one country to another. There are various incarnation cases like that also. I have heard with my elders that if a person dies in an early age, their soul roam here and there. So that is ghost. So what is ghost? Let me help you to understand. So when a person commits suicide, so what happens is, now say I've got a lifespan of 60 years, okay? But then soul he desires, and he's independent to do this. He decides that, oh, enough is enough, life is, it's just crazy and I just want to end everything. But then that poor person, he does not know that ending this body is not end of life, because the soul is alive and it will go to another body. So he ends his body at the age of 30. So now remember that soul transmigration. Let me go to that PPT. Oh, this batch of students are all extra smart, I would say. Okay, let me go to that soul transmigration slide. This one. See, now gross body is there, subtle body is there, and soul is there. So now say the person is destroying his gross body, and The next body is not ready because he's supposed to live for 60 years. Now he has ended his gross body, but he's still trapped in the subtle body. He will not be, subtle body will not leave him. So that covering will always be there. So now the gross body is not there. Only subtle body is there. And next body is not ready. So this is the punishment for that person for next 30 years. Because 60 years he's supposed to live. At the age of 30, he has ended his gross body or destroyed his gross body. Yes, he has destroyed his gross body. For next 30 years, he will just remain in the subtle body. This is called as the ghostly existence, where the person has desires, because desires are there on the platform of mind, and he does not have a gross body. Now he wants to eat, and he does not have a gross body to take it and put it in the mouth. He wants to do something else. He doesn't have the gross body to do it. So like that, the person, a person who has ended his body willingly, or the person is very, very sinful. So this punishment is given, and this is actually a very, very big punishment. You can imagine, the person is feeling thirsty, he's feeling hungry, but he does not have a gross body to fulfill that desire. It's a big punishment. So very, very sinful people, get this punishment. And now people who have done the sin of committing suicide. So the ghostly existence is there, and the ghost is entering another body to capture another body, and through that gross body they're trying to fulfill their desires. So this is what is the ghostly existence. So like the way they show in horror movies where the head turns and the person 360 degree, everything turns 360 degree, in movies. So like that it doesn't happen. So scientific, now we have understood, right, from Bhagavad Gita scientifically. So ghost is basically just having subtle body, gross body is not there. So this thing that is told about in a young age when a person dies and things happen. So it's not a very correct thing, only if very sinful or the person has committed suicide. In these two cases, the person, he does not get a gross body and he suffers, and it's a punishment where he's still there in a subtle body. Hope this answers your question. Ashwini is asking how to deal with bad memories in spiritual world. What is best practice to get rid of it? So bad memories will not be there in spiritual world. With bad memories, we cannot go to spiritual world. The best practice is mantra meditation. See, mantra, I think I explained this. Mantra, you can split into two. Manas trayate, mana and tra is there. Manas trayate iti mantra. So the one which delivers the mind is called mantra. So when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, it cleanses the mind. It literally cleanses the mind. And when that is happening, and when we are engaging ourselves in Krishna's service, all those bad samskaras and negativity that is there, all that will be removed. All that will be removed. Now, I have seen personally in my own life, and I have observed in the life of my students. Amazing it is. It's a magical mantra. So this is the best practice. How many rebirths a soul takes till it gets moksha? Till the person does not perfect his life by practicing bhakti. Till then, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Now this is a shloka by Shankaracharya. So in this way, the person will keep going from one life to another. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Again and again, birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. So we also have taken many, many births. Now, when we are started practicing bhakti, we have not started now. We have started many lifetimes back. That's how now we are able to sit, sitting and seeing a bald person online and hearing him for 2 hours is not an easy thing in the age of Kali. But then we are able to do it. It means, we have done it and we have left it in between. And this life is starting from that point where we have left it. So now the point is we have to continue. Anyways, next session I'm going to speak about this topic. Now it's very, very important. In this life, we have to complete the race. Again and again, in between we sit down in the race. This time we have got up, we have started running, now we have to complete the race. So only when we start practicing bhakti, the person can break the cycle of birth and death, or else no problem. No ways, there's no option. Is it good to have connection of past life in this life? Do you think is it good? Say a person has died out of a car accident, a bus accident, and he remembers that. Will he ever step into a car or a bus? Many times people say, Prabhuji, why don't we remember our past life? It's a benediction. That's the arrangement of material nature by which we don't remember. And people, who have, who don't have it's not good to say, but Shastras say this, so I'm just repeating. People who have got a lot of sinful background, a punishment is given. This is a punishment of remembering past life. Shastras say this. And when they remember past life, it's very difficult to live in the present life. Very difficult. All the time we close the eyes, he's there in the past. So it will be a disaster. It will be a disaster to remember past life. So we shouldn't desire for that. We shouldn't. How body and soul are connected, also how karma is connected with us, soul or body. So karma is connected to the soul. We'll see that in the next session. And based on the karma, the soul gets the body. That's the connection between soul and the body. Why not same gods? Why different avatar? Kali avatar will be end of this Kali Yuga. Okay, this will be answered in the second last session. So we will see that in detail. So yes, Kalki avatar will come at the end of Kali Yuga. The description is given in Bhagavatam in a place called Sambhal, and his entire attire and his activities are given. Yeah, Mayuri Patil, I don't know, the same second you have written, I'm not understanding what it is, what you're talking about. Is memory with body or with soul? The memory is with the subtle body. Subtle body has the memory because mind is there, and mind is the storehouse of all the memories. Hope we understand this now. On a lighter note, some random time I get a dream of going for an exam, even though I have completed my college 15 years back. Same pinch, I also get sometimes. That, just imagine that particular thing has got such a strong impression on our mind that even after so many years, we get those dreams. So any impression that has got a strong impact on us, that will remain for a long time, very, very long time. I've been having this inquisitiveness from early childhood of life, that what will happen to my soul after death. Sometimes I ponder too much and become anxious about afterlife. Is it because of past life experience and memories? No, it's because of not having clarity of what happens next life. So through this course that you're attending, you'll get a full clarity about how I can choose my destination. In this course, this is what you'll see. We'll get that confidence of choosing our destination after this life. So that's the strong point, in this entire course. So don't worry, this anxiousness will be removed very, very soon. Is Krishna Incarnation of Ram? I think you have to wait, for the last session. But then, Krishna is not the incarnation of Ram; it's the other way around. Why God is giving us body, soul, and subtle body, and then expects us to be pious and reach Him? Just to answer your question, again, I said we'll have a session in detail. One person also asked the same question, a similar question. We desired for this. We wanted to enjoy. And just because we desired, we have got this as a gift. And now we are realizing it's not a gift, it's a curse. Anyways, we'll see this in detail. But we desired. Answer is we desired, so we have got it. Why is... Okay. Will the Pitru karma help the ghost to take new gross body? Yes, yes. When we do Pitru Paksha, when we offer oblations to the forefathers, obviously not feeding them meat and alcohol, but when you feed them Vishnu Prasad, when we offer Krishna Prasad, and that is called as Pindodaka Kriya. So Pinda means food and Udaka means water. So when that is offered in Pitru Paksha, to the forefathers, say if they are in a ghostly bodies, they will get a gross body. So that is the contribution from our side to our forefathers. If they are in the hellish planet, they'll be raised to the earthly planet. If they're in heavenly planet, they will be allowed to stay there. And if they have a ghostly form, they will get a gross body because of that Pindodaka Kriya. Why is it like most of the reincarnation cases we see is of those who did not complete their earlier life normally? Is it like older we get, our affinity to carry forward the memory to next life? I cannot comment on this because we cannot whitewash. It all depends on how intensely the activity was done. Any activity which is done very, very intensely, any incident in life that has a strong impact in our life, that is carried forward. With the mind, it goes to the next life. That's how it happens. Hope this helps you. and not complete their earlier life normally, I would not say that is the thing, but the karma acts more here. Past life karma, the punya and papa acts more than how the life was completed. What happens when the cycle of birth and death is broken? So we are spiritual entities and we are supposed to be in the spiritual world, but we have taken a material body and we are there in this material world. So in the spiritual world, now we have these Vaikuntha planets. So that is our original place, original home. So that is the place, where we go to our original way, original home. Why talk only about Krishna? Is it only Krishna or it means God in general? It's Krishna who has given Bhagavad Gita. It's Krishna who is the Paramatma in each and everyone's heart. And he's the one who does various things. So in the second last session, I'm going to speak on this topic. So Krishna is that God. That's what is the answer to your question. Why only our mantra, but not Gayatri mantra? I heard Gayatri mantra is, I think I sent an audio message talking about Gayatri mantra. Hope, I don't think you have received it. Maybe you talk to your mentor, they'll send you the audio, which I recorded and sent last time. What about if a person is atheist, but he's good and do not harm others? Will he get moksha? No. See, doing good to others, just ask one question. When I do good to others, will my mind get cleansed? Because good to others on the gross platform, and on the subtle platform, contamination is there. So how that activity on the gross platform is going to help me on the subtle platform, right? But when we are doing spiritual activity that is connected to the soul, so the spiritual activity can actually cleanse the subtle form. So in this way, we have to understand it. So understanding this technically was very important today, right? So that's why I spent a lot of time in explaining the entire concept. So hope this answers your question. So gross activity which we are doing, that will not cleanse our subtle form. So that will not allow the person to get moksha for sure. But it's a very great thing. Helping people is very important. We also do. But then we cannot ignore our spiritual life and say that is only important. Everything has its own place. You said immediately they get, but then what's the use of Pindodaka Kriya as they already got? I think I answered this question, Pindodaka Kriya. What happens? Hope this is answered. What's the difference between Shiva and Krishna? Both are same. No, there's a difference. We will discuss about this. We'll discuss about Lord Shiva, Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma. All that we'll discuss. So what happens when we reach the Vaikuntha planet? Kuntha means this place, full of birth, death, cycle. Vaikuntha means where there is no kuntha, where there is no misery. So we will assume or we will resume our eternal service to the Lord in the spiritual world. It's a deep topic. We can, with time, you will be able to realize when you hear more and more things about these different topics that we're discussing. Okay? So thank you all very much for joining. It's 8:36, 2 minutes more I took today. So let's end that session for today. Any questions, more questions, please send it to your mentors. They are also very, very knowledgeable. Please ask them directly. I am sure they'll be able to answer. And if they want to get more insight, they will always contact me. And if you directly want to ask questions to me, please send it to them. They will send it to me. Okay. And I pray for all of you all. In fact, every day I'm praying for all the Gita course students, that Lord empowers all of you all and gives you enough strength to continue practicing spirituality. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. See you all next Sunday evening. And the topic is the attitude of comparison. So let's get rid of the disease of comparison and also understand how practical Bhagavad Gita is. Hare Krishna.